Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It's Lynn. I'm so glad you could make it to this call to talk about social activities. I just love going out with my son, which is something that I never used to do in the beginning because I could never control his behavior and I would never know how he would show up. And I was always afraid of what everyone else would say or think. And so for the longest time, we didn't go anywhere. But now we do. And it's actually one of his biggest motivators, which means if he wants to do it, he's going to do it. He's going to do it well and he's going to listen. So we have actually created a process for what works really well for us. I actually call it a blueprint for effective community outings because after doing probably hundreds of these outings and trying it many different ways, I started taking notes and figuring out what worked and what didn't. And so I wanted to share that with everybody. And first I want to say, not every day would be a good day to go on an outing. I know I said that after the holidays, we usually want to just kind of recoup, relax. It's been a long, probably tiring but fun holiday season, but it's when we want to just kind of stay home. But actually, most stores don't have a lot of people at certain times of day, so it's a really good time to go out with our children. It would not be a good time, however, if your child is really unsettled, hyper, not listening and not feeling comfortable. And we have those days. There are days, and often it happens around the full moon or one of the moon cycles, or, just like us, sometimes my son William just doesn't feel like going out or doesn't feel good or is a little bit like unsettled in some way. And if I notice that, I decide that's really probably not the time to go because they're going to be stimuli, excuse me, they're going to be stimuli. There's going to be things that we run into in these stores that I can't control. They may be loud, uncomfortable. And if he's already feeling inflexible and uncomfortable, then I don't want to put him in that situation or myself because then that's very stressful for both of us. So usually I look and I see, how's he feeling? Is he comfortable? Does he want to go? And when all those conditions are yes, then we get ready. But before I go anywhere, I've already scoped out the place. So before we went to Walmart, for instance, I made sure I knew where I would park, where the bathroom was, because I always show him where the bathroom is when we get someplace, so he knows and he can show me if he needs to go there. I kind of figured out where in the store he may like to go based on his interests and where the cashier was, etc. So I could then show up with him and not need to have my attention distracted by looking for all those things. So planning is really important to an effective outing, especially if you're going somewhere new. So if you're going to a new store or a new place, try and find out where you're going to park. And so, for instance, we were going to the mall. We wanted to go visit Santa. We celebrate Christmas. This was a few years ago. And I had not been to this particular mall in a while. So I went on a day at the time that I wanted to go with my son, but I went by myself just to see how many people were there. Where do I park? Where's the best parking closest to the entrance that's closest to Santa? So that I could navigate it really quickly and easily. And so I kind of did a dry run before I took William, and I realized this is a good time of day, not a lot of people. This is what time Santa comes. This is where to park, the bathroom. These are some stores I think he might like, etc. So that when I showed up with him, it was very easy because I wanted to have my attention on him to support him and to be aware of his needs. So I could do that by having already planned it out. Also, before we left to go to the mall or to go wherever we're going, I prepare. And what I prepare is I get myself ready and I get him ready. And I put together everything we're going to need in a backpack. So if I need a change of clothes, there was a time I did. I usually don't now, but I may need a snack depending on where we're going and how long we're going to be there. Maybe I need glasses or a hat or my wallet, my phone, my keys. And I put everything in a backpack so I can carry it on my back and have my hands free so that I can open doors. I can hold on to him if I need to, whatever I need. I'm not like juggling things and then losing him and then getting stressed and frustrated. And then once I get stressed, the whole thing starts to fall apart because then he gets stressed and we get kind of nervous and we're not having as much fun. So prepare by putting everything in your backpack and getting everything you need or you think you're going to need and getting it ready and then leave for your outing. Another really important thing, and these are all P words, plan, prepare. The next one is patience. I have found that when I use patience, things go so much more smoothly. I know that I'm not going to be able to control everything. I've planned, I've done the best I can. The only thing I can really control is how I feel. And so what I do is I use as much patience as possible as things happen. And if he runs down the hallway, I am patient and calm. And I'll say, hey, let's not run. You might hit someone. And that helps him stay calm and relaxed. And usually he will stop running. And the people around us feel like, hey, she's taking care of it, but she's not all anxious. So it kind of helps the energy of everybody stay calm and patient as well. So patience is really an important thing. Another P word, which I find helpful for my outings, is praise. Because praise is something that we usually do for others, not for ourselves, but it feels really good, right? If you've ever worked out and had someone who's like a trainer for you and they said, hey, great job, you just finished 10 repetitions, now go for 5 more, you can do it, you're awesome. That kind of praise motivates us to continue to do more and more. And so if William, if we decided to go see Santa, for instance, and we haven't been to this mall before, and he just walks in the door and walks out, I'm going to praise him. Say, wow, thanks for coming to this mall. You've never been here before. Wasn't it cool? And then he'll be like, yeah, it was cool. He'll kind of have that feeling inside so that we can come back another time, and he'll feel really good about it. Hopefully, and sometimes I've actually seen this, when I praise him, he kind of settles down and he wants to do that next thing. So maybe if he tries to walk out and say, hey, thanks for coming, he may actually respond and say, ooh, what if we just try to go see Santa? And often he'll actually give that a try. But praise is good because if we praise every step of the way, our child will do more and more. And it also helps us to let go of the need for accomplishing everything perfectly the first time. Because let's face it, that hardly ever happens, if ever. But by praising every step of the way, more and more, you're going to see, as I see with my son, we get more and more things accomplished, or our visits or our outings are longer and longer, and he's doing more and more things, and it's just because of praise. Now, it's also important to praise yourself because we're pretty amazing, but we forget to praise ourselves, especially if we're doing an outing or if it's not been something that's been comfortable before, but you're doing it or you gave it a try. Praise yourself. You may feel like it's insignificant, but it's not. It actually starts to sink in and you start to feel really good, and it helps you to see the positive things. And even if they're small, the positive things that you've done to kind of help you and your child take that next step. Now, if you go somewhere, another P that will help you create this effective outing is to put to use whatever it is you buy or you do. So if you went to see Santa and you got a picture, come home and show your child the picture. So it makes that outing really relevant and extra exciting because there's something to show for it and to look at and remember it by. If you go to Walmart and you buy something, come home and use it. If you go to a family gathering and someone took pictures, come back and look at those pictures and talk about it. So it makes everything that you've done relevant. It gives it purpose. And that is actually inspiring for you and your child to do it again and to do it more. And there's that one more P for an effective outing I have found is to practice. And that's just do it more and more. So if you've had an outing and it went great, awesome, do it again. Keep practicing, keep doing it, change it a little bit so that you can continue to feel comfortable going out in the community and being part of the community with your child. If you did an outing and it didn't go so great, that's okay, right? Your life isn't perfect every day. So practice it again, because that's how I learned to do it. And I would say there's some times that I feel like it's almost perfect, but not always. There's always something I learn from it. But I have done outings now for like 4 years, and I would never be where I am today if I hadn't just kept practicing and practicing. There was actually a time we went 4 times a week on an outing because it became really fun and exciting, and I could see it was motivating. And the way I found to really connect with William and to really help him grow and learn is by engaging in his motivation. So his motivation was going on an outing. I was doing outings, and I was going to get really comfortable with those outings so that we could enjoy them together. Those are some of my experiences, and I actually call those the 6 Ps for an effective community outing. So again, it was plan, prepare, patience, praise, put it to use, and practice. And I love hearing from other people about their experiences, because we all have different experiences. I do think that this model I just shared with you is a really good template that you can overlay on anything that you want to do with your child. But I would love to hear from you and what works and maybe what doesn't work or what challenges you have so that we can learn from each other and share with each other. Thanks so much for joining. It's been really fun, and I hope that we can continue to learn from each other in this way. I really like these Zoom calls because we can record it and share it. And sometimes you can't show up on the actual day because our life is busy, right? We have so much going on, and we can't, even with all the planning and preparing, right? We have to be patient. Things happen. So I like to record things and share them so that when life does get in the way, you can use your flexibility to learn from it when the time works for you. So thanks for listening, and I'd love to hear your thoughts as well as your tips on my Facebook page, Navigate Autism. That's NAVIG 8 AUTISM. Thanks, and enjoy your outings.